Hey, what's going on, good people? It's your boy James Harris, founder of Mental Heal, author of Man Just Express Himself. Listen, I just want to tell you guys thank you so much for the love that you continue to show me on the movement, the book, and of course now this new YouTube channel. You guys definitely did your thing with liking, sharing, subscribing. Make sure you continue to do that. I definitely appreciate you. I didn't anticipate it to grow as rapidly as it did, but we are here. So, with that being said, I will be introducing a new segment that I'll be interviewing different men throughout the community as well as in different places. And I wanted to do this so you guys can not only just hear my voice and the lessons that I provide for you guys on different knowledge and subject, but I thought it would be an interesting way for other men to tell their story of resilience and their road to their wellness journey. So we're going to be talking in these interviews about mental health, physical health, relationships, substance use recovery, early detection, different societal norms, relationships, athletes and mental health, maybe politics and mental health, and the stressors that's coming from that. And also masculinity. We might dive into that as well. So it's so many amazing men who have reached out that are open to tell their story. So, I'm gonna put something together, man. One Tuesday out of the month. I think it'll be interesting for you guys to hear that dynamic. So be willing and open to listen. I hope you guys continue to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you do that. Make sure you also get the book. Go support. With that being said, the guest that I got coming up is
Andre Ingram, South Bay Lakers professional basketball player. Been playing professional ball for the last 13 years. Born and raised here, Richmond, Virginia.
yeah, man. So I noticed you said the South Bay Lakers, but there was a time
Yeah.
that you was on the actual Lakers. How you felt about that?
Yeah, it was an amazing time for me. I had spent 10 years in the minor leagues before getting to my big break, my breakthrough, and got called up to the Lakers for just a dream come true game in every way, man. It went better than expected, how dreams do. Yeah, man, I'm still hearing so many people inspired by that game today. Like every time I get seen, the hair usually give me away. I got so much gray, man. They recognize me instantly. So yeah, and they just tell me how much that game meant to them. So,
I mean, your story is one of resilience and tenacity and not giving up, man. Like, I mean, what made you want to stay consistent for that long period of time?
shoot, we'll get into it. It wasn't easy, man. Like that's the that's the big misconception about my story. That like I was just so happy to keep on grinding at it, and eventually I'm going to do because I hung in there. But it wasn't always that easy, man. But something always kept me going. I will say that was the consistent
Nice.
theme that something kept me going.
So I got you here for this segment because I thought it was important to highlight because athletes and mental health is right now it's become this trendy thing. So hopefully it's a actual thing and not just a trend thing.
Exactly.
But I wanted to bring insight and to be able to highlight this segment for the parents out there who got student athletes, for the athletes themselves who plan to get to the next level. Because they tend to focus on just the physical, lifting weights, running, speed, agility, and stuff like that. But it's also a mental and emotional component to it as well that I want to focus on. So, I want you to be as open and candid as possible. And if anything that you don't want to share, then you don't have to.
No,
But I think the more transparent and authentic you are, it will definitely help a lot of people.
Yeah, it was.
So if you could, man, what do you think mental health is to you? What does that mean?
Yeah, so mental health to me is it's like you said, just like you have physical health and you work on things to make sure your body is right in every way. Well, the mind, mental health to me is making sure your mind is right in every way. It's not that everything is going well and everything is good and everything is right in your life. Is being able to have a peace of mind with wherever you are and whatever is going through. Because we all going through, especially in this time of the day, man. But as athletes, we face different challenges, expectations, things like that. So mental health, in my eyes, is just that peace of mind in your mind, like to be at peace in your mind.
All right. Have you ever experienced a teammate or a coach or somebody within the facility of assisting you guys deal with mental health issues or or not deal with mental health issues, I should say?
Yeah, no, I've seen it within myself, but also, teammates, professional athletes. And it's a misconception that, you're a professional athlete, you've made it, you ain't got nothing to worry about, you're
Yeah.
good, and it's just not the case, man. You're human and you face those same problems. I mean, you're seeing it in athletes, you're seeing it in entertainers, actors, things like that. But at the end of the day, man, we are human, go through human problems, and I've seen teammates have actual like breakdowns, like completely break down, like can't function, can't practice, which is why having mental health is just as, if not more important, as having your physical health right. Because we're talking about guys who are in tip-top shape, can do anything you want them to do in the weight room, in the gym, on the basketball court. But if the mind ain't right, then all of that shuts down. So I've seen it, man. I have.
So when you say you had your personal, what does that look like? What happened in that situation?
Yeah, man. So this is the part of the story that don't get much pub when people mention my story in the big Laker game and the NBA call-up, which is why I'm glad you got me here, because this part is more real than that to me. Because if I don't get through that, we ain't no Laker call-up. It ain't none of that. So no, there was one time, man. The biggest time for me when I had my biggest bout with depression and a truly mental battle, man, was my first stint overseas. And anybody who knows the story of my professional careers, I stayed in the G League for like 10 years and going on my 13th year. But there was a time in there, like around that 8th or 9th season, where I said, man, I'm done with the G League. No more minor leagues for me, no more Lakers. I don't want any of that. Just let me go as far away as I can, make as much money as I can, because you don't make a lot of money in the G League. So I said, man, the first offer that come, I'm just going to take it. And for years, I had turned down these offers for whatever reason. But this time, I was so fed up, man, with not making it to the league, and the way that most previous season ended, I wasn't happy with. And I was like, I'm just going elsewhere. I'm going for the money. I don't care about anything else. So right off the bat, that ain't peace of mind. Like, my mind already in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Right off the bat. And then I ended up getting a call to play in Australia, in Perth. That's about as far away as you can get from anything. It's by itself in Australia.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's like a place that's just far out, but they were offering me more money than I ever had in my career. That's all I saw, and I said, "Yep." They gave me 3 days to go. I got my stuff, got it together, left my family, left all that, and just said, "You know what? This is what I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm gonna finally make some money doing this thing and not have to worry about anything." I got there, I lasted about all of 10 days, and it was all up here. Again, the physical body was fine, in shape, can do everything. On the court, we actually winning games. The only 2 games I played overseas, we won both of them. I played pretty decent, shot the ball well like I always do, but I was so jacked up, man.
Mentally. So when you say you experienced depression, so I don't want to take away from your story, but when you think about depression, or the textbook definition is isolation, the loneliness, the loss of interest and pleasure. But for the naysayers or the common people, like, what do you mean? You just got this biggest contract that you was working for. But for you, I guess, why do you feel that you was depressed? I can understand that you was away from family. Yeah. The money wasn't as fulfillment. What else? What else you think?
No, you hit the big things. But for me, man, I immediately felt within those first couple of days that something in my spirit was off, and it just wasn't right. And it immediately, shined a big light on, that wrong frame of mind that I came in with from the beginning. And yeah, it was all those things. It was finding out that money was not the fulfilling thing. As you said, I was about to make more than I ever had, playing the game I've always played and have no problem doing, and am doing well with. The best I can explain it, man, is that you might not even be by yourself, but you feel alone. Like, you got teammates all around you, coaches, those are great guys. I felt like no one was there but me. Isolated in my own hole. My family was gone. That was a big part of it, but it was more than that. It was a feeling of not belonging. It was not a good time. And I am, thankful. I guess we'll get more into the fact of what you do when that happens. But immediately, man, I let people know. Like
that's good,
man. Yeah.
For a long period of time. I mean, I know you and I talk. Yeah. So, but I know for like a lot of people, it's I'm gonna just deal with it, or I'm gonna just find some other way to cope. But for you, you said you let people know immediately, and that's a good thing, because that's what I was gonna ask you. Like, did somebody else recognize that you was going through this, or was it you that recognized that you was going through certain things?
Yeah, it was just me. The guys who were there, and that was some of the hardest conversations I ever had when I had to go to the head coach and go to the GM and be like, look, I cannot do this. I'm not right mentally, and I need to get away. And that was one of the hardest conversations I had. But yeah, I told the closest people to me, told my family, told my wife, told my brother, told the best of my friends that I consider brothers. And immediately just releasing all that was in me and not holding it in made things better already. And it was still a long road ahead because I had to pull back the pieces and say, all right, how did I get here? What happened? What, you know what I'm saying? What's going on? Why am I not right here? And I am extremely grateful for that time. But also going through that, man, has you look at each day now differently. Like, it's an accomplishment to make it to the next day at that point. Like, that's how I was feeling. Like, from now on, man, anybody who's going through out there, if you make it to the next day, that's a win. Like, just making it to the next day.
And you definitely got to celebrate those milestones, man, of you being able to make it to the next day. And so for the people out there who don't know, definitely go to the channel, like, share, and subscribe. It's also a support video on there on my YouTube in which you heard him talking about. He was able to talk to his coaches, his closest friends, his family, and stuff like that. And it's also a depression video on my website if you need more intense insight on what that looks like and how you can assist somebody. So definitely check out those two videos. But to get back in it, man, it's good that you had that strong support system. How do you know, were there any reservations or fear in confiding in the coaching staff and everybody else that you talk to? Or how do you know, like, they're going to accept me, the man, saying I'm not feeling well, I miss home, I miss family and stuff? Like, were there any doubts in your mind that, I might hold this, or do I need to just let it out?
Yeah, there was doubts. I didn't know how the coaching staff was going to take it. And to their credit, I wouldn't say they took it poorly. They weren't happy. They weren't happy at all. But they did understand that, look, we would love to have you as a basketball player, but it's much better that your kids have a healthy, stable man at home. So we understand. But I had no reservations about taking it to, my family, my closest friends, my wife, because in my eyes, definition of a strong support system is, some people that you can go to where whatever you tell them, you ain't feeling judged, you ain't, you're going to receive what you need. Sometimes what you need is a kick in the butt and hang in there. And sometimes you need a hug, you need a shoulder, you need an ear. And I had all of that within my support system. Nice. So mine was pretty strong, man.
All right, so moving on from that though, they released you out your contract, you wound up coming back home, got back in the G League, and then what happened?
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So I get back home, and I'm at home for 5 months just waiting, man. And this part was hard too, because every day I'm back here training, I got to answer these questions like, why are you back here? I thought you was over there. What happened to that? And that's like every day. It felt like every day for the next 5 months, somebody was asking me that. And in my head, I'm like, stop asking me. Like, I'm here, I'm back. That didn't work out. Stop talking. And that part was rough because when I got back, I tried to get back into the G League immediately, but I missed the deadline for returning players. So this is like October. I didn't get back into the G League until like March. The team just had no room for me on the roster, so I had to wait. But that time to wait, like I said, had me peel back the curtain on what just happened in the mind. And I'm like, okay, we were just not in a good place. Why was that the case? And turned my whole life around, man, because after that comes the Laker thing. Like the big Laker debut. The Laker debut was a season and a half after that Australia debacle. That's when it was. So
you think that time being back, that recovery basically coming back to who you are, like made you excel within that and get that recognition and notice to get called up?
Yeah, it did, man. Because I'm going to tell you how my mindset shifted. Talk about, being right up here. When I got back and I had to wait those 5 months to play in the G League again, I realized or found myself just being grateful to able to play again. Because when I had made the decision, I'm not going back to G League, I'm just taking the most money I can. Like, I was resenting all that I had done in those first 8-9 years in the G League as if it was nothing, as if it meant nothing to play professional basketball, as if it meant nothing to travel the world and go to places that nobody else ever will. And I get to do things just because I'm playing basketball, as if none of that stuff mattered. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that, and I had to peel back. I said, what am I talking about? Like, you know the life I've lived. You know what I'm saying? You know how many people want to be professional basketball players and what that means, whether you're in the NBA or not. So by the time I hit the G League court again, I determined for myself, even today, gratitude is going to be on the agenda first and foremost.
Yeah.
First and foremost. You might go 0 for 6. You might have the worst game of your career. Gratitude is on the agenda first and foremost. So much so that I said to myself, hey, I know I done spent more years in this minor league than anybody ever will. It's all good. Whatever the end's going to be, if I never make it to the league. Dead serious. This was my mindset before that Lakers game, before any of that, the seasons before that. If I never make it to the NBA, I gave it what I had. I went with not only my heart, but what my spirit was leading me to all these years. My spirit was telling me not to go to overseas all these years. Something kept bringing me back to the G League. And I'm going to just see what the end's going to be with this and be glad about it.
Nice.
That's what happened, man.
So you got that big call, man. It was so ecstatic, not only for, the family, the city of Richmond, everybody was hyped. So what's next? Where are you now, man? I know you are still in the G League. You're waiting for that season to start, but what's that process?
So, I mean, basically, we're just waiting to see if we're going to have a season first and foremost. But, yeah, I'm still training for another season. I ain't slowing down yet. Legs still feel good. Body still feels good. Mind is in a great place.
That's good.
And so, yeah, I mean, and all of those things in play. The family as well. They're encouraging me to keep playing. I mean, I ain't got no decision. Like, that's not a choice for me. I'm good to go. But yeah, it's just wait and see right now. Hopefully we get a season going. Obviously with everything going on, it's a challenge for us to get going because unlike the NBA, we don't have private travel. We travel commercial. We travel with the public, so we're in the public site a lot, and they would have to figure out a lot of things for us to be able to do that again and have a season. But that's what's up with me. I'm just still training. I was training before I got in this spot right here. So
I know, man.
So
that's part of your self-care. But what else you do for self-care then?
Yeah, you know what? That was another big thing. If I can rewind back to them 5 months, I had to find things, man, that leisure things that genuinely brought me like pleasure, like with like happy places, like things that made me happy to do. I broke out the old Nintendo 64. I'm playing games that I ain't played in years. Just trying to get my pockets of time of happiness, man. I needed it. I was in such a bad place that I was just needing things that fed happiness and peace and joy to me. So so self-care, it's not just about my body, not just about my mind, but those leisurely things that we take for granted. We want to work. Yeah, I came from working out, I'm gonna work out again, all that stuff. That's cool. Rest is on the agenda too. Like, you gotta rest, you gotta let this body heal, and you also need to enjoy yourself. Those things are important, man. And I think in a time like today, athletes and people in general, we are like glamorizing overwork, and we need to chill on that. You need some rest, man. You need some time for yourself. You need some time for just straight leisure at times.
What advice will you give to the young athletes right now that's determined to make it? I'm going to the league. I'm gonna practice all day. I'm gonna do everything I have to do to make it to the league. What advice would you give them?
Balance is key. It's okay to have that dream. It's amazing, excellent, encouraged to think like that. Mind you, everybody thinks like that. The guys who make it, the guys who don't. Everybody think like that. So what's going to separate you? I do think, having a balance of not just your goals, but in your life, that if things don't go as according to your plan, and more importantly, according to your timeline. We got a timeline in our head of when these things are happening. I got in the G League. I said 2 years on being in the NBA. Well, what happens when you get to year 6? Your timeline got jacked up. Are you gonna fall apart? Are you gonna do something different? You gotta be careful with things like that, man. Always have your goals. Always have your dreams. Always have your desires. Push for them. Go for them. But when things get twisted up and turned, because they will, that's just inevitable for all of us, you got to find something that keeps you hanging in there. You got to find something to keep you hanging in there.
That's true, man. I definitely hope a lot of parents show this video to their young athletes that are, up and coming, that are inspired to go to a certain level. Because, again, they focus on that physical piece so much. They're working out, they're running track, they're doing, the agility work and all that, but not so much focus on self-care, the mental rest, the overall rest and stuff like that.
Because let me interject with you. Let me tell you what happened when you don't focus on that other part. When you're doing all that very early, like basketball or any sport or whatever sport your kid is training for, becomes a job way too early. Way too early for them becomes a job, man. Like you working that kid 12 months out of the year, they ain't getting no rest throughout it. And you wanna be careful that you ain't pushing them in such a way that it's no longer a joy to them. It's no longer, what it should be to a kid coming up. It's at some point it's gonna become a job. This is not the time. Because when it becomes a job, that's when it gets harder to love it and to, really enjoy it like they came in loving it and came in enjoying it. So yeah, that's big too.
And that's a good perspective. I don't think people ever looked at it that way. Because
you.
now it's more of, I like to do this.
Yeah,
I'm good. I can get to the next level. Yeah. Opposed to like, you going to the next level. Let's focus on that.
Yep.
And I think that can be a distraction too, and that can assist you in getting more injuries too, because you working yourself opposed to resting and recovering properly and stuff like that. So that can be a difficult thing. So parents, if you're out there listening, definitely ensure that it's a balance with your young ones, emotionally, mentally, as well as physically. What else you got, man? Anything else you want to leave with the people?
Yeah, no, just to touch on that rest part you did again, because I was just having a conversation with a guy, and I train kids too, but you'll get sometimes where, like you said, throughout the 12 months a year, these kids are getting no rest, and injuries are going way up, way more than what they used to be. Yeah, man, it's extremely important for these, kids coming up to get rest as they go forward. It's wonderful that kids want their kids, or their parents want their kids extremely skilled in every way in all these different sports in every way they can. But that body also needs time to heal, because we're seeing way too many injuries. As a trainer, I'm seeing them. Even in professional sports, you're seeing it. Stress fractures and things that are happening in kids that probably too early for you to be experiencing these type of injuries. So that rest part is big as well, man. Like I said, you don't want to get it to a point where kids are seeing this as a job already. At one point it will be, and you don't want to see it like that just yet. That take a little bit of that joy away. And I've seen that in kids already. So
for the young ones who are substituting rest with like a substance to keep them going, whether that's a pill or, anything else.
Hours,
what do you say about that? Like those things can become addictive as well, and cause injury as well as mental health issues as well. So, anybody who experienced that and had difficulty coming back, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've had teammates go that extra mile sometimes, and it's a difference between going the extra mile and putting in extra work. That's fine, but then, like going to the part of overwork or going to the point of overwork where there's no rest and recovery for the body, you can't replace that. You don't get stronger by pushing until you don't have anything left. That's not how you get stronger. You push as hard as you can. You give yourself work. You put in extra work, and then you let the body heal, recover. That's like growing your body stronger. That's like growing your mind stronger. You need to turn it off at some point. At least sometimes, you do need to turn it off, and then you rest to work again. It's not like you're resting just, you don't want to rest from overwork, because you're overtired and that forces you to rest. You want to rest so that you can get back to work again. Like that's the purpose of the rest, for you to get back to putting that work in and putting in that extra time.
Definitely, man. So, man, listen, we're going to look for you this upcoming season.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Continue to do what you do, man. Like, cause I don't know if you know the significance that's behind you within the city. Like, it's a lot of people that was excited when you got that call, man. That just was so dope. And to hear you interview with, the TNT crew, Charles and Ernie and all them, and it just was like, oh, man, like, he made it. He's on TV, he's doing everything you got to do. And to hear that personal story of just, again, tenacity and just, sticking with it. Because I know a lot of people that probably gave up or said, nah, it's, I ain't going to make it to the next league, or it's not, it's impossible, or whatever the case is. But for you to stick with it, with injury and going back and forth and being overseas, being away from family, because your family is on the journey as well.
Yeah, they is.
So just to keep that tenacity going, man, it's so inspirational. And for you to still be connected to the city with training kids and running camps and stuff like that, in addition to having your own family, it's so commendable, man. So tell the people how they can reach you or any other information that you want to give out.
Yeah, no, and to piggyback on your point, Bex, I had anything else to share, it would be to the city because, like you said, so many people have come up to me and say, "Hey, man, when you was out there with Lakers, I felt like I made it." Like that's the line right there. From high school teammates to anybody in the city that I come in contact with, people from the Pro-Am summer leagues, all these things that have connected me to this city, Holland Springs, Capital District, Henrico County, all these other counties. Like it doesn't matter. Like all of the energy, all of the love that I felt from the city, man, I give it right back to everybody. Like I was so glad and always so glad to hear when someone says to me, it felt like I was out there, like, put over the city. That's amazing to me, man. And I appreciate that love and I'm here to keep going. So yeah, man, hoping to represent not only my family, but my home in the city of Richmond is the best I can, and I'm gonna keep on doing that for sure. So, but yeah, as far as reaching me, so my social media, this is a good platform to do this too. So there are Twitter and Instagram accounts that say my name. They are not me. We are purposely, my wife and I purposely disconnected from those things. We do have a shared Facebook account. That's how you can reach me, man. Messenger. I do respond to people. You can always reach me on there. Andre Ingram. That's my name, my wife's name, our last name. That's just how we do everything. If you are to see a Twitter or Instagram from us, it would be that. It would be my name, my wife's name, our name. Like that's how it would go. That's just how we do everything, and how home stays happy, man.
Man, listen, that's so amazing. I definitely appreciate you coming out, taking the time, dropping the insight. Hopefully parents can learn some or enhance the knowledge and pass it down to the young student athletes. Hopefully they tune in and get that insight as well. Submit me your questions if you have them. I'll be sure to pass them along. If you just want to know what it's like to be in the league or what it's like, after college and going overseas or whatever the case is, we can get those questions answered so you wouldn't have to navigate that journey solo or fly blindly and experience a potential depression or, substance use or something like that. We can figure it out together, man. Andre, definitely appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, you guys, catch me on the next one. I definitely appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, submit your questions. I definitely appreciate you guys for tuning in.